Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into something super familiar, an object you see almost everywhere, the baby cradle.
Right. You know it, you've seen them, maybe you were even rocked in one.
Exactly. But have you ever, stopped to think where it actually comes from?
Because its story, well, it's way older than you might think.
Mm-hmm.
And the origin might be linked to something completely unexpected.
Yeah, that's what really jumped out at me from the sources. The central idea we're going to explore is that the cradle might not just be ancient, it could actually be, maybe, humanity's very first moving technology.
Some even argue it was our first real technology, in a sophisticated sense.
Yeah.
And the twist. It might have come from, believe it or not, needing to hang up meat.
Hunted meat, yeah. Okay, that's pretty wild. Let's unpack that.
Let's do it.
So our mission for this deep dive, explore this really compelling anthropological idea. We'll look at the challenges early humans faced, day-to-day survival.
Yeah, the practical stuff.
Yeah. And then this ingenious leap they made. And the huge impact of this simple rocking thing. We're drawing on scientific thinking and this really intriguing new theory.
And it could genuinely shift how you see early human innovation. It's fascinating.
Totally. So where does this start? Back in prehistory.
Right. Human prehistory was basically problem solving, constant challenges, and a really big one. How do you store meat after a hunt?
Makes sense. Big game wasn't like a daily supermarket run.
Not at all. So every bit of meat was precious. And before refrigerators or salting or smoking became widespread, the simplest way, most common way, just hang it up high, in trees usually.
And that wasn't just about spoilage, was it? It was security, too.
Absolutely critical. You've got wolves, bears, other scavengers. They can smell that from miles away. Hanging the meat kept it safe from ground predators.
Okay.
Plus, being up high meant air can circulate around it. That slows down bacteria, helps it dry out a bit, desiccate. It preserved it longer.
So hanging meat wasn't just convenient, it was essential for the group's survival.
Exactly. And think about this happening over generations, thousands of years. Early humans, especially women, who were often handling the food processing, they'd see this constantly. Meat hanging in sacks or nets, just gently moving in the wind.
Ah, the movement itself.
Yeah, that steady motion helped keep pests away, kept it aired out. Simple, but really effective. So this idea of suspending something to keep it safe and stable, that gets baked into their understanding of the world.
Okay, so we have this established practice for meat. Smart. But survival wasn't just hunting, right? There's the whole camp life, daily chores.
Yeah.
Especially for the women.
Huge responsibilities, processing hides, making tools, cooking, managing food stores, and of course, caring for children.
And anyone who's been near a really upset baby knows that's an immediate all-hands-on-deck situation.
Absolutely. So imagine trying to scrape a hide or gather plants when you've got a crying baby.
Yeah.
You can't just leave them on the ground. It's cold, there are insects, maybe even animals.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
So the dilemma, how do you keep the baby safe and calm and get all that essential work done? Your hands are full, literally.
Exactly. Now picture that moment, that spark of insight. Maybe an early woman working near those trees where the meat sacks are swinging. Her baby's crying. She needs her hands free.
She can't hold the baby and work.
Right, and she sees the meat rocking gently, calmly, safe off the ground.
And she connects the dots.
That's the hypothesis, that incredible leap. If swinging keeps the meat safe and steady, maybe it can do the same for my baby. Calm and protect.
Wow. That's kind of beautiful, actually, the birth of the hanging cradle.
It's a brilliant example of what anthropologists call functional transfer. Taking a solution from one problem, preserving meat, and applying it to a totally different, really critical need, infant care.
So what would these early cradles have looked like? Super simple, I guess.
Probably very simple. Maybe flexible nets, leather pouches, animal skins. Just something you could hang from a branch or maybe a beam inside a shelter, or even a basic tripod designed to rock.
And this wasn't just a nice to have, it could have been life-saving.
Very likely. Probably reduced infant mortality quite a bit. And it freed up mothers to do other vital work while keeping the baby close and calm. It's effectively the first known swinging human support technology.
So what does this tell us about, well, human ingenuity?
It really highlights how invention comes from observation, seeing analogies, and, well, fundamental human needs, like caring for our young.
And there's science behind why the rocking works, right? It's not just a guess.
Oh, absolutely. Modern neuroscience backs this up. Studies show that gentle, rhythmic motion provides vestibular stimulation.
vestibular, like inner ear balance.
Exactly. That stimulation is incredibly calming for babies. It reduces crying, helps them sleep. Think about rocking a baby in your arms, same principle.
Okay.
And beyond just calming, hanging the baby kept them off the cold, damp ground, helped them stay warm. Plus, elevation meant fewer insect bites, less risk from ground-level threats.
So from an evolutionary standpoint, this was a huge advantage.
Massive. A mother whose baby was calmer, slept better. She had more time and energy for other crucial tasks, lower infant stress, maybe lower mortality, better survival for everyone.
And it's not like this idea just disappeared. You mentioned it still exists.
It does. In many Turkic and Central Asian cultures today, you still see hanging cradles, sometimes called bishik. They look remarkably similar in principle. It's like an unbroken line back to that ancient innovation.
Wow. So why is this theory framing the cradle as potentially our first true technology? What makes it true technology, not just a tool?
That's a key point in the sources. The idea is that a true technology isn't just a simple tool like a sharpened stick or a rock. It's more like a systematic, transferable solution to a problem.
Okay, a system. How does the cradle fit that?
Well, the hanging cradle wasn't just a one-off clever idea. It was a system for infant care. It could be replicated, taught, passed down through generations. It shows sophisticated, applied knowledge.
Right, it's repeatable.
Exactly. It's systematic. It's purpose-driven, designed specifically for infant care. And it was transformative. It changed daily life, freed up caregivers, likely improved survival rates, and influenced childcare practices for thousands of years.
That makes sense. It's more complex than just picking up a rock. It involves understanding principles like swinging motion, suspension, and applying them intentionally.
Precisely. That level of systematic application, driven by empathy and care, distinguishes it from simpler tools found in nature or used by other animals.
Yeah.
It feels uniquely human.
And there was another layer to this in the sources, something about deeper meanings, like a silent language.
Yeah, that ties into a broader concept, sometimes called the Odam theory, which is quite fascinating. It suggests our earliest innovations, even simple ones, weren't just practical. They often carry deeper meanings, encoding our experiences.
So the cradle wasn't just functional.
In this view, it's almost like a symbol, a technological word or letter. Its very form-hanging rocking speaks volumes about that fundamental human drive to protect, to nurture the vulnerable. It embodies care.
That adds another dimension entirely. And its legacy. It goes beyond just baby care, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. The shape, the function. You see echoes in swings, hammocks, even just the word cradle, meaning a starting point, a safe place. It's deeply embedded.
Yeah.
It's a powerful story of how our basic needs fuel really ingenious solutions.
So reflecting on this journey from hung meat preservation
Yeah, kind of visceral, isn't it?
to the rocking cradle, it really shows how tough survival challenges pushed early humans towards creativity, but also towards, well, empathy, finding solutions to care for each other.
It's that blend of practicality and, deep human intuition. That's what seems so potent about this early invention.
So here's the final thought to leave you with, based on this theory. If the cradle, this tool born from empathy, from the need to care for the most vulnerable, if that could be our first true technology.
What does that really say about how we define technology itself?
Right. Think about that. Does it change your perspective on innovation? Maybe it's not always just about controlling the environment or building bigger things. Maybe it's fundamentally tied to caring.
And how do those core drivers, observation, seeing connections, basic human needs like care and safety, how do they still fuel invention today, often in ways we don't even realize?
Yeah. How do these simple ancient solutions still echo? Something to chew on.